See, the infrastructure of their little, like, what's a lie kind of shit is about, like, timing out this app. They, like, they time out the app. And that is where, in their own internal world with cops, it's supposed to mean a lie. These cops know this stuff. It's like the whole idea is that the mentality of what these cops have been discussing. Oh, I've been constantly for years. And so the reality is that they, the little stupid little fucking truth verifiers, basically, they think that timing out this app would mean something. See, in their inoculation cover-up world, the cops, they use the timing out ability of these little stupid little pedophile hacker kids as a reason to not investigate. But see, this shit in LA, they know how it works. They know. Everything in LA will get analyzed at, and that then it'll build a standard, and then they'll go around to everybody's county, and they'll basically be able to find most people. And so, these cops here in Tri-Cities, they know this. The whole idea is that the government wasn't seemingly able to do anything. I attempted in this town to put the heat on, so to speak, and that it was meant to just get them to stop. Because they sit around torturing victims of Satanism. See, they built a whole world that thought that torturing victims and speakers in secret. See, they know that they're not supposed to do satanic rituals. And so, the children that they all blackmailed in the past with, they sit around torturing. And then they didn't think anybody would notice. And that then, in this world, the Islamic terrorism's open pedonation system, they won't torture victims of Satanism. And so, like I say, they don't really interact a whole lot, but it's a propaganda machine. It shows how law enforcement, how basically Tea Party and basically Mormons sit around torturing victims of Satanism, shows them doing Satanism, shows them covering up Satanism, shows them trafficking children for Satanism, shows them killing children in Satanism. And then it shows cops with Mormon temples covering it all up, right? And so this is why I say that this stuff is a powerful recruitment, and that essentially this is like where this whole system is all the people that they need to stop. This stuff is always open to the whole Islamic terrorists, to the whole Islamic world, Russia, everything. China and shit. So it's not open. This is a huge mockery. This is for little North Richland, little fuck you mopey. A stupid little bitch that turned 18 a few years ago. And now he's not a little high schoolie. See, a stupid little bitch. A little slave. A little stupid little slave. That was putting things on my ex-wife's screen, right? And so, stupid little bitch is my slave. Now he'll be the one getting into my profile doing like fucking speaker sound shit. But that's regardless. He's violating the rules of Satan. Well, this is the reality. Is that, yeah, I was investigating all of you. Blatantly. And so, the child brothel and the swinger club that was in our townhouse, those two black guys that lived there, they're the ones that had the access to the pedo banger to the top system. The Islamic terrorist one. So there's like a major connection to all of this. Those people on Hood Street in North Richmond, those people will be some primary people in all of this. That's where little mopey Satan is. Huh, little bitch? And so people that terrorized my ex-wife, who knows, she probably won't even remember. That's how much, like, see, in Second Life, that was the stuff that she was, like, keeping from me. But nobody keeps that stuff from Satan. The more you don't tell Satan, the more Satan knows. The more you don't tell Satan, the more Satan knows. Because even though I let Lena have all the like privacy she would ever want, anything that gets listed as something that she isn't allowed to be private about with her husband. Okay? It's like, I would find out, okay? I would wait for her to tell me, but anything that was becoming a danger to our family, anything. Like 2 weird Mormon pedophiles that wanted to hide my child in their house. See, everything about those stupid people and everything that they've ever been involved with is known to me because that was a danger to my child. And that woman can have all the privacy in the world as long as she's not putting our child and herself or me in danger. And so all the things that she was doing in Second Life pretty much violated that rule. But you see, I don't go around talking about her stuff specifically. I find the little mopies, the little Buddha cactus mopies, the ones that women will fucking hate the fucking most. She hates you all the most. And stupid little Lena Mormons. So these are weird fucks. They're so like weird sexually that they wanted to be like, for some reason, they wanted to be 50 slutted. They're like little weird Mormon kids, okay? Now they're all in their 20s. So, the Buddha cactus Mormony, or the Buddha cactus Satanies of mopies. These ones like to do this asshole tea party method of psycho in at a woman and I'm gonna torture you and sucking my dick kind of shit. That's that. They like to do that. Women will hate them the most. Women in her Second Life was kind of involved in helping closeted gay people with the gays. These little weird fucks, they just do so much of these typical kind of S&M sex with stuff in like high school. And then eventually they turn into like weird sexually decrepit people. And then they essentially like want to be like satanically like sex slaved and 50 slutted. And then they want these people to basically be 50 slutting them into. I mean, that's how fucking weird it is. Yeah. It's weird because there's essentially the open pedonation is like where the Islamic terrorist system doesn't allow people to do satanic S&M. They open this whole system because you're not allowed to do satanic S&M. And that the reason is because they keep a whole open system that has no cybersecurity. The drug system is secure. The adult prostitution system is secure. The satanic S&M in that boilerplate system is not secure. It's because they don't allow satanic S&M. And so this is like where essentially when these little fucking little psychery little stupid weird high school kids and shit, they start trying to make mothers and shit everywhere be 50 slutted into forced prostitution. And that a lot of times the ability for the Islamic terror drug system to lure in women is based on them not allowing that shit. They end up essentially, depending on what their blackmails are, they essentially like might have to help with some drug trafficking once in a while or something, or they do a minimal like prostitution. I mean, there's depending, but they get paid. Okay, this is the reality is that they still kind of force people to be slaves, but everybody gets paid. Okay. And there's a minimum that you can do in it. You don't have to do it all the time. This is why they're able to lure people into that. But if everybody sits around doing Satan S&M, then that's open pedonation. And so then in that, which there's not very many people that fall into this category, but if a woman has a man, it still has those rule sets in it, then they essentially have to do what that man says to do. The Islamic terrorists, they won't tell the wife of a man what to do. Right? That's their slave. Basically, that's the way that it's viewed. So it's like single women, and that the reality is that they use like some very generic baseline Islamic laws like being married. Those women won't be a man's slave until they marry them. That is how you then essentially you can exist in the secure drug or prostitution system. See, essentially what happens is that once a woman gets a man, then it usually has a lot of foreign people in it that were being 50 slutted in satanic S&M. Then a man's woman usually sits around and tells them how to adhere to some basic Islamic rules. That's what like the training videos are and stuff. And then that's for those women to like die. See, a woman that has a man doesn't have to do the drugs and prostitution stuff. And then that woman essentially has an ability of being a leader over other women that they don't have to do drugs or prostitution. Then they get taught how to be a good woman, kind of. Basically, it's kind of the rules of it. And that is where they can exist in that dark web without doing anything illegal. And that this is what lures people all over the fucking world into that. And then they become Islamic sympathizers. I mean, this is what it is. So this becomes like a major issue, okay? Because essentially this system is a white system. It operates in a similar way, where if you're white, that this is an underlying white supremacy system. So if you're not white, then it makes it very difficult to operate in this. See, being a pure genetic white person gave me the ability of reviewing through this stuff. And so that is where essentially it was like, well, the Islamic terrorists were like, it used to be, okay, it used to allow people of color, basically. It used to. But the Islamic terrorists were like training women and inserting them in there. And that then those women were like basically, in ways, fuck clubbing it. And that then it was like causing problems and stuff. And that is what led to, that's what led to the issue of like, well, essentially, this system arose because of that. Where essentially this is kind of the path for the people that aren't white. Alright, now, you know, these stupid people, you know they do around here. They know that I come from an extreme Protestant church, and that then they label me as black or something. And then they expect me to go and be in Catholicism to get rid of their little weird hacking button stuff. And that stuff wouldn't make one fucking difference. And that I'm not in a satanic S&M. And I'm not in dark webs and shit like all of them. They're black. They can't go to a prairie church for being people that committed the unforgivable sin. They have to go and be Catholic. See, in Buddha, Satan, little Mormon, little mopey, they either have Mormon, which is not a satanic cult, or they can go and be Catholic. See, what they do is they make little enchantment children with little stupid Mormon kids. And then that is a violation of the prairie. And then they sit around going, well, I'll just be like retarded cops, and then I'll just build a bitch move, and I'll say he's this, and then ergo, that means I'm that. And then he'll have to go and be, because none of these libertarian kids would ever be allowed to be Catholic. They're like fathers and shit, when that's like against their religion, basically. It's against their Tea Party Bible Church religion. They can't be Mormon either. And so then they sit around going, well, ergo, I'll bitch him off, and then I'll bitch move back, and then I can go to my little Bible church, and then he'll have to go to this, and then I'll press these buttons on his computer until he goes there. Okay? That's how their mind thinks.